1. Which of the following best reflects the American Institute of Certified Planners, AICP, Code of Ethics regarding public communication in planning practice? A. Communicating technical details only to professional peers. B. Presenting information in a manner that enhances understanding for all stakeholders. C. Limiting information dissemination to decision-makers only. D. Avoiding communication with the general public to prevent bias. 2. In curriculum development for an AICP exam prep course, which strategy best aligns with adult learning principles? A. Providing extensive lecture-based content without interaction. B. Encouraging learners to apply knowledge to real-world planning scenarios. C. Requiring rote memorization of planning laws and codes. D. Assigning passive video viewing with minimal discussion. 3. When evaluating candidates for the AICP exam, the most valid assessment method to measure higher-order thinking skills is A. Multiple-choice recall questions only. B. True-false quizzes on zoning definitions. C. Scenario-based questions requiring analysis of planning dilemmas. D. Matching exercises of planners to their historical contributions. 4. A planner mentoring a junior colleague for the AICP exam demonstrates effective mentorship by A. Dictating memorization strategies without feedback. B. Encouraging reflective practice and guided problem-solving. C. Recommending that the mentee avoid group study sessions. D. Limiting support to providing study materials only. 5. Which communication technique best supports adult learners preparing for the AICP exam? A. Using highly technical jargon without simplification. B. Encouraging collaborative discussions about case studies. C. Requiring silence during study groups to minimize distractions. D. Delivering only one-way lecture-based presentations. 6. AICP regulatory compliance emphasizes that planners should A. Place private interests above the public good. B. Advocate for personal beliefs regardless of public input. C. Serve the public interest by balancing competing needs. D. Exclude community voices from the decision-making process. 7. In evaluating the effectiveness of an AICP preparatory workshop, the most appropriate measure is A. Number of participants enrolled. B. Learners' ability to recall key terms. C. Application of planning principles in practice-based simulations. D. The length of instructional sessions delivered. 8. Which approach best ensures equity in AICP exam preparation curriculum design? A. Providing uniform resources regardless of learners' prior knowledge. B. Tailoring activities to diverse learning needs and professional experiences. C. Excluding learners with less professional experience to maintain rigor. D. Prioritizing advanced learners while limiting foundational content. 9. When designing practice questions for the AICP exam, an instructor should prioritize A. Including trick questions to challenge memory. B. Developing questions based on realistic planning situations. C. Using questions only from prior exams without updates. D. Avoiding any application-based scenarios. 10. In the context of mentoring for AICP readiness, feedback is most effective when it is A. Vague and delayed until the final review session. B. Specific, constructive, and delivered promptly. C. Harsh to motivate learners under pressure. D. Focused solely on incorrect answers without guidance. 11. Which evaluation method aligns best with adult learning principles in AICP exam preparation? A. Peer review of case study analyses. B. Silent written tests only. C. Repetitive multiple-choice drills. D. Infrequent high-stakes exams. 12. AICP candidates are expected to uphold which ethical principle when addressing controversial zoning issues? A. Favoring developers over community groups. B. Advocating transparency and public participation. C. Limiting discussions to government officials only. D. Avoiding public dialogue to reduce conflict. 13. Which of the following best supports knowledge retention in AICP test preparation? A. Passive note-taking during lectures. B. Active engagement with real-world planning case studies. C. Memorization of legal codes without application. D. Watching recorded lessons without interaction. 14. In communication training for AICP candidates, role-playing public meetings is effective because it A. Focuses only on memorization of planning terminology. B. Builds practical skills in conflict resolution and stakeholder engagement. C. Limits opportunities for critical thinking. D. Reduces learners' ability to adapt to real scenarios. 15. Regulatory compliance under the AICP Code of Ethics requires that planners A. Suppress conflicting public opinions for efficiency. B. Accurately represent facts and avoid misrepresentation. C. Prioritize personal advancement over community welfare. D. Exclude diverse cultural perspectives from planning. 16. When constructing a curriculum module for AICP exam preparation, which element is most essential? A. Overloading learners with legal citations without context. B. Sequencing content to build from foundational knowledge to complex applications. C. Designing lessons without learner input or feedback. D. Focusing exclusively on historical urban planning theories. 17. A formative evaluation in AICP test preparation serves to A. Provide ongoing feedback to improve learning outcomes. B. Deliver the final pass-fail result of the program. C. Compare learners' scores against national averages only. D. Replace the need for summative assessments. 18. An AICP mentor promoting self-directed learning would most likely A. Assign only memorization exercises. B. Encourage learners to set goals and track progress. C. Limit learners to a rigid instructor-led plan. D. Discourage exploration of supplementary resources. 19. Which teaching strategy best embodies curriculum development principles for adult learners preparing for the AICP test? A. Designing learner-centered, problem-based instruction. B. Emphasizing uniform testing formats without flexibility. C. Avoiding group work to prevent distractions. D. Restricting learning to theoretical concepts only. 20. In assessing ethical decision-making skills for the AICP exam, which evaluation approach is most appropriate? A. Requiring candidates to memorize ethics codes verbatim. B. Using scenario-based questions to test application of ethical standards. C. Administering timed recall tests of ethical principles. D. Limiting the test to definitions of professional conduct. 21. AICP candidates preparing for public engagement scenarios should be trained to A. Control dialogue by avoiding open-ended questions. B. Actively listen and integrate community feedback. C. Prioritize efficiency over inclusivity. D. Avoid stakeholder participation to reduce conflict. 22. Which of the following best exemplifies regulatory compliance within AICP practice? A. Ignoring state environmental regulations when pressured by clients. B. Advocating for planning outcomes consistent with legal standards. C. Using personal discretion over established legal frameworks. D. Designing plans without regard for land use laws. 23. When mentoring for AICP exam preparation, the mentor's role includes A. Encouraging critical thinking and reflective learning. Dictating all study choices without collaboration. C. Limiting interaction to periodic test drills. D. Avoiding discussion of broader professional applications. 24. Which instructional design principle ensures adult learners retain knowledge during AICP preparation? A. Linking new information to prior professional experience. E. Delivering content with minimal context to maintain neutrality. C. Using abstract concepts exclusively without application. D. Requiring isolated study without collaboration. 25. A summative evaluation in an AICP exam preparation program primarily measures A. Learner satisfaction with teaching styles. E. Long-term retention of ethical and planning concepts. C. Mastery of knowledge and skills at the end of instruction. D. Day-to-day engagement and participation levels. 26. Which of the following best supports curriculum alignment with AICP competencies? A. Organizing instruction around professional practice domains. B. Structuring lessons solely by instructor preference. C. Emphasizing outdated planning models to maintain tradition. D. Prioritizing isolated theory without integration. 27. AICP planners must demonstrate accountability in professional communication by A. Using technical language inaccessible to the public. B. Ensuring clarity, accuracy, and openness in public reports. C. Restricting information to regulatory agencies only. D. Avoiding explanations of complex concepts. 28. A learner-centered approach to AICP exam instruction emphasizes A. Facilitator guidance with active learner participation. Teacher-dominated lecture sessions. C. Eliminating opportunities for group collaboration. D. Prioritizing memorization over critical analysis.